When we pulled up, I was in the front seat. Happened to see my friend, Shug.
Shug looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, rolled down the window, popped.
So Orlando would have had to lean over the top of Dre, right?
Yeah.
Is it Orlando?
Yes.
Let me just ask you point blank, did you kill Tupac Shakur?
I didn't kill Tupac. I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? They would even say something like that. I just want to tell everyone that, I didn't do it, and I feel sorry for him, you know what I'm saying, his fans and and his family.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of A Crime or Tale, man, with Dope Boy. Man, I had to take it to the West on this one, man. I got to take it to the West Coast on this one, man. We're going to talk about Orlando Anderson. We're going to talk about how he ended up being like the infamous face behind every BMW picture you see with the holes in it. We're going to talk about that. About me doing my research, man, just some of my research. I just want to, well, considering what they saying he did, man, I ain't trying to bring light to his life. I'm just trying to tell his story on what he did and how he contributed to the hip hop community. Because believe it or not, no matter what you say, this man face is forever embedded into the hip hop community. So on the Crime Tale, man, y'all sit back. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Chapter 1. It was written on August 13th, 1974. Orlando Child, Babylane Anderson, entered the world of Compton, California. At that time, Compton was undergoing a transformation. Once a working-class suburb with a thriving black middle class, the city had been hit hard by white flight in the 1960s, factory closures in the 1970s, and the steady spread of gangs like the Crips and the Bloods.
You're aware that a Negro family has moved into Levittown?
Yes, I heard about it.
What was your reaction?
Dynamite. Dynamite.
What have you done about it?
Well, I guess we just discussed it.
How do you feel about the Myers moving in?
Well, I'm very definitely against it.
For many families, opportunities narrowed as unemployment grew and violence seeped into everyday life. But by the time Orlando was walking to school in the 1980s, Compton's reputation was changing fast. No longer a hopeful suburb, but a city marked on the nightly news as one of America's toughest neighborhoods. Orlando's own upbringing, however, was not as bleak as the headlines might suggest. His parents, Harvey Lee Anderson and Charlotte Davis, split when he was young. His father remained in the picture but lived apart, while his mother carried the weight of the household. Charlotte worked long 12-hour shifts as a bookkeeper, often returning home exhausted but determined to provide stability for her children. With his mother away at work much of the time, Orlando spent much of his childhood in the care of his great-grandmother, Utah, inside a family home on the South Burroughs Road. It was here, in the heart of the Southside Crip territory, that Orlando was raised among uncles, aunts, cousins, and grandparents. Despite the dangers outside, relatives would call a secure home, filled with family gatherings, backyard cookouts, and a boy who always had food, laughter, and protection. Most kids have dreams about cartoons and ball games, but Orlando's world was smaller, sharper. The block raised them. The older guys posted on the corners, the sounds of dice hitting the pavement, the arguments that broke into fights. By the time he was 10, he wasn't just watching, he was absorbing. Every word, every gesture, every warning became part of his education. Compton wasn't just his hometown, it was his classroom, and survival was the first subject. But by the time Orlando graduated in 1992, Compton was reaching its peak in violence. That year alone, the city recorded more than 90 homicides, a staggering figure for a city barely of 100,000 people. Put differently, Compton's murder rate was nearly 10 times the national average. Police and residents alike described the city as a war zone, with funerals for teenagers becoming a heartbreaking routine. For Orlando, growing up meant balancing the warmth of family life inside his home, the chilling reality of life and death on the streets just outside. Chapter 2, Thug Life. By the late 1980s, Compton was more than a city on the news. It was a symbol of America's urban crisis. Unemployment, crack cocaine, and the wars between Bloods and Crips pushed its murder rate to some of the highest in the nation. For a teenager like Orlando Babylane Anderson, this meant growing up in an environment where danger was expected. It was the atmosphere. His uncle, Dwayne QVD Davis, was already a leading figure in the Southside Compton Crips, and that connection shaped Orlando's path long before he made choices on his own. In 1988, Anderson was placed in a Taft High School, a suburban campus intended to pull at-risk kids away from the daily grind of Compton. Teachers described him as a quiet, polite, even promising. But Compton wasn't just where he lived, it was who he was. But before long, Orlando returned to Dominez High, the heart of his community in the shadow of the Crips. Classmates remember him as a real friendly, real cool, the kind of kid who didn't make trouble in class. At his 1992 prom, his yearbook photo captured a smiling young man in some sharp clothes, wearing a school ring with pride. For that moment, Orlando looked like a success story in the making. Yet beneath the surface, a different story was forming. By his mid-teens, rumors started following him. Petty break-ins, late-night fights, loyalty to the Southside Crips. None of it appeared in official juvenile court records, but reputation in Compton traveled faster. Orlando wasn't wild or reckless, he was measured, carefully learning how to navigate a world where survival meant projecting calm strength. But by April 1996, those rumors turned into documents. Police affidavits tied Anderson and other Southside members to the murder of Albert Webb, a robber from the Palmer Block Crips.
We knew him when he first started in the gang, and then we watched him grow up in the hood. And at the time of this shooting, Timmy and I were investigating Babylane on a murder of the Chapman Nutty Block Crip. It's Albert Webb that he supposedly killed at a party. And we also investigated murders on Michael Duro over the years. So these guys were no punks. I mean, they've been around the block. They were true Southside gang members down for the hood. And
a raid on the house at South Barrows Road turned up an AK-47, shotguns, and pistols. Orlando's name was there in black and white, though no conviction followed. Months later, in October 1996, he was swept up in a citywide gang raid, arrested and released. Law enforcement no longer saw him as just another kid. Babylane was now a name worth circling in red ink. By the mid-1990s, Compton's gangs wasn't just battling block by block. Their world was crashing head first into the business of gangster rap. The culture, the violence, the codes of the street were now stamped into platinum records and flashing across TV screens. At the top of the wave was Death Row Records, Suge Knight's Empire.
In the house.
Death Row can be bigger than Motown or Sony or Warner Brothers.
Death Row is gonna be the biggest record company there is.
The master plan was to take over the world.
All of the greatest artists came together at one time, and it was like a comet streaking across the sky.
Sex, drugs, violence.
For better or for worse, gangbanging went pop.
It's like everything we touch turned to gold.
Next year, Death Row gonna start printing our own money.
Armored in blood ties and heavy money. For the Southside Compton Crips watching from the sidelines, it was a bitter pill. They claimed they had been the muscle, the ones in the shadows making sure things ran smoothly. But when the fame and the fortune rolled in, they were left empty-handed. To Orlando, that wasn't just disrespect, it was a spark. And sparks in Compton had a way of starting fires. The truth of Orlando's teenage years is layered by day. He was the boy who graduated, who wore his school ring with pride, who classmates swore wasn't a troublemaker. But by night, he was Keefy D's nephew, inching deeper into a world where manhood was defined by guns, loyalty, and fear. From 1988 to 1992, he lived between two futures. But by 1996, one of them had closed in. It seemed like he was a good kid. I ain't gonna lie. The research I looked up on him, man, from the early years until he jumped off into what he jumped off into, it seemed like he was a good kid. It seemed like he was doing everything he needed to do. Going to school, said he was a straight A student. He even attended college, even, you know what I mean, got his high school diploma. Most cats that's in the streets real deep off in the streets, school ain't number one priority. But it seemed like in his life it was number one priority, and he finished it, got his diploma and went to community college. It just seemed like the street life sucked him in. Working so much, she couldn't even keep him most of the time, so he had to go to his grandmother's house. And it just opened up a whole nother world for him, because he really got to interacting with the streets even more, because his whole family run the block. You feel what I'm saying? So his uncle next door, you know what I mean? So, I mean, they run the block, so that even opened him up to more street life. And I think that will ultimately got him involved so deep into the gang politics. But like I said, I ain't from there, but I mean, the history I done seen, man, being from there, it's hard to escape that environment, I mean, or that type of lifestyle, because that's the environment. You are the product of where you from. And you know what I mean? That's what he came out of. So of course he was gonna gravitate towards that, and that's what he did. Chapter 3, when it's over. By the end of May 1998, pressure was closing in on Orlando Anderson. He was still reeling from the death of his grandmother, the woman who raised him and kept him grounded. That loss left him relentless and on the edge, and the streets of Compton offered no peace. On May 29th, 1998, Anderson pulled into a car wash on Ladronda Boulevard with a friend by his side. But waiting there were Michael and Jerry Stone, men tied not only to old grudges, but to a dangerous debt. Word was, money owed to QVD had created bad blood, and the Stones were caught in the middle of it. On May 29th, 1998, the confrontation sparked instantly. Babylane and childhood friend Michael Duro supposedly began the argument, fueled by grief, pride, and the weight of money that hadn't been paid. Witnesses said it felt like the whole lot froze. Then the shots rang out. Gunfire ripped through the car wash, scattering bystanders as chaos exploded. Anderson was hit in the chest and back, multiple rounds tearing through him before he collapsed beside his car. Michael scrambled for cover, caught in the crossfire, escaping without fatal wounds. Michael Stone and Jerry Stone wasn't as lucky. Bullets hit them too, dropping them both to the ground. When the smoke lifted, Orlando Anderson was gone at just 23 years old. His friend was shaken but alive. Michael Stone and Jerry Stone both succumbed to their injuries.
They were feared. They had respect on the street. Michael Stone's arms, probably 21 inches. They were no punks. So you get Michael Duro and Babylane, who were no punks either. So you get these four, legendary gang members in the streets of Compton. They face off at a car wash, and gunplay's involved. I mean, if you want a comparison, it's like a black OK Corral is what happened. That's the way I always refer to it. Both Stones were murdered. Babylane took more than a few shots. Michael DeRoe did not get hit. He took the wheel. He drove off, and they were in Babylane's black Blazer.
Parked on us.
Parked. It was actually in the car wash when the shooting happened. After the shooting, Michael DeRoe is able to get behind the wheel. He sees the Babylane is shot. He's bleeding out. He's got to get him some help. He takes off. We got information that he discarded the gun that they used somewhere in the area behind Compton High School. We never recovered the gun. During the shooting, all the tires, or at least 3 of the tires on Babylane's Blazer got shot. So he's driving on essentially one wheel. He gets to Cocoa and Willowbrook right here. He can't go any further. He's driving on the rims. He stops. By this time, there's sirens all over the place. The cop, because the police station now it's a sheriff's station, but the police station was only 3 blocks away. So everybody on the back lot heard the shots. So they started responding over here before a radio.
Left scars that ran deeper than bullet wounds. The shootout wasn't random, and it wasn't simple. It was a collision of grief, pride, street politics, and debts tied to QPD. And in the middle of it all, the man that was once whispered about Tupac Shakur's murder met his own violent end, not in Las Vegas, but right there
Were
in Compton.
you involved in any way in the death of Tupac Shakur?
No, I was not involved. I mean, I'm like a victim. You know what I'm saying? I feel, you know what I'm saying, sorry for him. And, like I said, I was a fan of him. I mean, I've been thinking, maybe I'm like scapegoat or something. I just want to let everybody know, you know what I'm saying, I didn't do it.
Man, I definitely had to put this. I had to put the jersey on for Orlando. They say in certain parts of Compton, bro, this jersey mean different things. But I'm all the way in Missouri, so y'all chill. But you know what I mean. The whole video about Orlando, I want to just shed light on his life, man, and maybe, you know what I mean, somebody get a different view of him, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't just this bad individual. I don't believe none of us start out bad. I believe all of us start out with a clean slate. I don't know, it's strange, and I'm giving y'all this story, but I feel like his story still should be heard. Like, he definitely should still be heard on who he was and how he contributes to the hip-hop community. I believe the way that Keepy put it is the way it all happened. About them getting the gun and all that, and the crazy part about the whole situation, man, Diddy, you know what I mean, his charges light. They really ain't get him on nothing. And don't get me wrong, I ain't trying to see him get burned down, bro. I ain't trying to see nobody get down. Bro, get your money if you're right. If you're evil, bro, I think you deserve to get where you need to go. But if you take care of your business like you're supposed to take care of it, then you should prosper. But definitely, I think that Diddy was tied into Pac murder, man. And I think they're gonna jump back and try to come get Diddy for Pac murder off of Keefe statements, off of Keefe books, off his interviews. I honestly believe if they could produce and find proof about that check, about the money being handed over, they'd be back to get Diddy. But I think Zip died. A lot of them cats did, man. I think a few of them still alive, and it's he say, she say, mojo right now. But if they could prove that money being transferred to one hand to another hand, man, I think that where Diddy fall probably really gonna be at. But hey, man, I'm just down the way on Crime and Tell, just giving y'all the story on how I see it. But until next time, man, don't forget to like and subscribe on the Crime and Tell. Let me know what y'all think about the video.